Welcome back to another lesson with me, Mr. B. Now that we've finished reading and analyzing some short story examples from Melissa Perla's Mumog, it's time for us to write our own. Ideally, you should have completed the last mastery check, where we were tasked with writing a short story, which is ultimately the introduction paragraph. This overview will consist of 3 parts. First, we'll look at what goes into this introduction. Then, move to a deeper dive of the requirements this introduction consists of. And lastly, take a look at what not to say in your short story. Unlike most literary or informative essays, this is not your typical introduction paragraph. This introduction is the first and primary section of this essay. It's the story and narrative itself, so clearly it's not going to be a single paragraph. The outline is going to look a little bit like this, and it's going to ask you to include, again, the narrative itself, sensory details, exposition, some sort of conflict, rising action and climax, theme, falling action, and resolution. Just like mastery check number 4, you can use the same story or create a new one if that's not something that you want to write about. Now let's look at the intro requirements, a specific checklist overview of components that make up your short story. So you'll start off with your story. This is going to be your narrative, where you tell the story of a truth you discovered or an impactful event. Then you want to include sensory details. This is the use of sight, smell, sound, touch, and taste to help tell the story and transport your reader. These sensory details are going to help you write the exposition, which is where you're going to describe the setting and the characters. And in order to move your story along, you're going to have some sort of conflict and climax. As you're writing, you want to think about, is there a clear issue, struggle, or problem that is present in your story? Because this is what's going to be driving your story forward through those 6 stages of a narrative, which might also help you figure out what the central theme is of your story. Do you think that there's a clear message throughout the narrative, which could be connected to the struggle or conflict that you choose to write about? And then you have your falling action. Have solutions to your struggle been presented? And does your story come to a close? Or does your story hint at something next? Now let's talk about what not to say in your introduction. As you write your story, try not to do the following. Number 1, avoid telling your reader what you're going to write about. So you don't want to say things like, in this story I will discuss, the theme is, you want to show the reader, not tell us what's going on. Number 2, don't apologize. Don't say things like, although I'm not an expert in, or in my humble opinion. This is your story. You're in control here. You show us what's going on. There should be no reason for you to apologize for what you've experienced. Number 3, don't refer to later parts of your story. So don't say, by the end of the story, you will agree, or in the next paragraph, you'll see. Again, show not tell. You're not here to give us directions. We're here to be transported into your story. And that's the introduction paragraph. I hope that in-depth review was useful in breaking down the components of this introduction section. This is the heart of your essay. If you're confused, try asking a friend and up to 3 people before asking me. Up next, we'll look at a student example and move on to the body paragraph. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.